Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code OFFSGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet, a new sports book available in 45 states. Download Rebet in your app store and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old Fashioned Football.
Make this deal right now, you pancake eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you listen to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at J Mark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, before I keep going to talk about Week 14 waivers, I got to bring in my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her on the X at the Mark. How you doing today?
Doing great. Aside from the fact that it's Monday.
It is Monday.
It's a rough start to the week after the holiday and just back to reality, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you get done with you have all the exciting and fun family times for the holiday. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And then you're just thrusted back into the grindstone that is work. Always a joy. Shout out to the chat, FBI Tugboat hanging out, waving. Josiah saying, yo, I'm not sure what POG means. I've noticed that he's got a lot more hip lingo than I do. I've learned that with talking with him, and just way hipper than me. And that's okay, though. And Kathy says, we're here and ready for the intel. There's going to be some intel because there were a lot of injuries. And what's worse to me is it's week 14, which means in a league that 6 teams make the playoffs, like a lot of 12 team, I guess, competitions do.
Like this is
leagues.
The last week before playoffs.
It's your last week. And that's really unfortunate because there's 6 bye weeks. Like
it's rough.
You're trying to make the playoffs. I'm in a league where I'm trying to make the playoffs, and I have a lot of players on byes.
Yeah, we've got the Broncos, Colts, Patriots, the Commanders, Ravens, and the Texans all on a bye this week.
It's big for me. I have a lot of shares of Jaden Daniels. I got a lot of CJ Stroud. I've been playing Bo Nix in multiple leagues. What?
Same.
Why do we... I don't understand. We didn't have a bye week last week. We have 6 this week. I think they need to change this. Why do we have 6 teams on a bye in week 14? There's only 4 games.
Teams on a bye 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Did they not do a bye because of the holiday week?
I don't know, but we've also had several weeks where we didn't have byes in the middle of our bye weeks. You go on a bye week and then you only have 4 games left anyways until playoffs. I'm not a fan of this. I think they need to change it, especially because I'm trying to win in fantasy football, damn it. It's like they don't care about that. Do you think they just don't care about that?
Well, no, they don't care about fantasy football. Are you
I
really
could tell you were
this?
partially listening to me.
I'm sorry. I'm looking out of league right now, but no.
You're like, wait a minute.
Are you trying to
processing what he said? No, they don't care. Nick Fortune saying he's here and we can talk trash about the 49ers this week.
Oh, there's some updates with that team coming up.
There are some updates. But before we get to that, Mer, what are we drinking today?
We're drinking Bourbon Tucker Bourbon today.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a review. I noticed. Oh, wait. I'm in like holiday week mode still.
You're used to from the 1 week.
Yeah. From the 1 week. I'm used to having an old fashioned with this. Well, we used to back in the day.
Yes.
We're back to trying the whiskey on Monday. We'll review it in an old fashioned on Thursday.
I can't believe you almost said I'm used to having an old fashioned from the 1 week that we did it.
Well, we've
been going for a long time.
I know, but we just this season we kind of started doing that. So calm down. Otherwise, I get an old fashioned on whiskey tasting day.
Yes, that'll be on Thursday. Shout out to, I guess, your parents, your mom specifically, who let us borrow this. Borrow because she wasn't drinking it.
Might not make its way back to her.
And she personally doesn't care for this one. Now that doesn't mean we're not going to care for it. That doesn't mean you're not going to care for it. But she doesn't personally care for this one, so that's why she's like, "Here, have this one, so you guys can have it on the show."
And I haven't tried this.
No, I have. You have not, but it's been a long time.
When have you tried it? When was the last time?
It's been years.
Okay,
three,
so,
maybe.
Well,
2 or 3
before you
years.
developed,
I have a different palate.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah, and shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Liquid Death. We always appreciate some Liquid Death. Before we keep going, don't forget to download the SGPN app. It's completely free. You have easy access to all our shows, all the picks pages. I finished 4th overall in college football picks this weekend. Thank you very much.
Good job.
And you can find those picks. And actually, Sean finished 1st, Kramer finished 2nd, and I finished 4th. You can find all 3 of those people's picks for free right through the SGPN app. So make sure you go download it. It's free wherever you get your apps. Should we kind of go over this? Speaking of the Niners, should we start in on this injury report? Because it kind of starts and sticks around with the Niners a little bit.
A little bit here. So
do you want to cover all of it? Some of it?
No, I've got this. I've got the injury report this week.
All right.
So to just jump right in, Christian McCaffrey injured his PCL and he's being placed on injured reserve. He's done for the season. And then
disappointing.
I know. And to go along with that, their backup running back, like Jordan Mason, also had an injury from last night's game. Yeah. It's an ankle injury, and he's also being put on the injured reserve. So that's gotta sting for the 49ers.
Yeah. I mean, insult to injury because they just lost 35-10 to the Bills. So
yeah. Ouch.
Sorry, Nick.
And then to keep going with injuries here, Trevor Lawrence got a really bad concussion on a late hit yesterday. We're going to wait to see how long this affects him. But with the Jags having no shot at the playoffs, it kind of seems like they might shut him down for the year.
I'd like to step in real quick and talk about that hit because there's a lot of controversy behind it. The player that hit him was ejected from the game because it was deemed unnecessary. And I get that. He's been called a lot of bad names, including, they've gone racist because the people just are dumb and that's what they do. And I get that it's unfortunate when he went to tackle, he had kind of led with his arm. But at the same time, the quarterback slide, and I kind of talked to you about it when we were watching Caleb Williams. He got hit in the knee on Thanksgiving because he acted like he was going to go out of bounds, and then he didn't. It's putting these defenders in a really tough spot because Trevor Lawrence decided to slide when the defender was like 2 yards from him, if that. That's not a lot of time to all of a sudden go, oh, I'm not going to hit him.
Right.
That's way too quickly to just decide like, oh shit, I don't want to get hit, so I'm going to slide. If you're going to slide, do it before that defender's even close to you. So I'm seeing both sides of this. It's unfortunate he got hurt. It's football, though. It's a tough game. It's a violent game. But this is not all on the defender. The quarterback's got to make a better decision. You can't decide, like, when they're this close, like, oh shit, I'm sliding, because that defender's already starting to launch.
And can't we just as if you were running and you realize, oh, you're going to get hit, you might make that decision to just slide, not thinking about the fact of what it's going to do.
He's got to make it quicker. He's got to make that decision quicker.
It just seems like just a bad situation for both players to be in.
Or just take the hit. I don't know. Quit being pansy, take the hit. I didn't see Jay Cutler sliding. Jim McMahon, the punky QB, never slid. Come on, take the hit.
Take the hit?
Yes.
Just take it. Okay. Moving on. Taysom Hill tore his ACL along with other damage to his knee. So this is a tough blow for a guy that has been this gadget Swiss Army knife for the Saints the past couple of years. But this is also it's going to be a tough one. He's 35 years old.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to bounce back from this.
I don't think he'll be the same. I think, unfortunately, Taysom Hill and being able to keep him on your bench to throw in to see if he pops off, especially during bye weeks and stuff, I think those days are done. And it's unfortunate. I think his impact on football is done.
Yeah. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
And then Dallas Goedert also has a knee injury, believed not to be serious, but he still may miss some time.
Yeah, he's had a tough year of
Mhm.
injuries on and off the field. Christian McCaffrey, tough year of injuries. So, Nick Fortune asking, how much does the SGPN app cost?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm assuming these faces were to the 49ers
Mhm.
players. And Kathy's saying, Hill, ugh. Yep, he's done for this year and potentially done forever. I mean,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Just due to age.
Yeah, just due to age. It's definitely
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate. I think we ought to just jump right into studs and duds.
Yes, I've got the studs.
All right, you
as
get
per
the
the
studs.
usual. At quarterback, Russell Wilson was projected 14.9, and he finished with 26.86 after throwing for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bengals. And do you have something to say about that?
I was going to say I'll remark on that later, but I'll remark on it now. I have him in our Savage and Cook
Mm-hmm.
league, which they're sponsoring, which is a pirate league. I'm down by 5. I have Devon Vele. He's got Cortland Sutton. This happens to be somebody who has sat their lineup before, so beating them would be kind of sweet. And so go Devon Vele.
Yeah. All right. At running back, Bucky Irving, he was projected 13.1 points. He finished with 26 after having 152 rushing yards, 33 receiving yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. I feel like, this rookie should have at least a good couple of years with the Bucks.
Yeah, he's a keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Keeper in your leagues for sure.
Yes. And then at wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, he was projected 10.4, finished with 23.3. He had 8 receptions for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I don't mean to keep cutting you off and making a remark
It's okay.
on all of them.
You clearly
but
have stuff to say. So
I do.
Say it.
So my dad texted me. He's in
Uh-huh.
the family league, obviously. He wanted to know who to start. It was Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, and I don't remember the third player off the top of my head. But I said, I know Terry McLaurin's got a tough matchup, but that would be my top pick.
Mhm.
Close second would be Calvin Ridley.
He's been, aside from just this week, he's been a stud.
Yeah, he decided to go with Calvin Ridley. I don't know if that was a gut feel or because Calvin Ridley had a much easier matchup. He really did. But I think he regretted that. Sorry, Dad.
Regrets the decision. And then my last stud at tight end, he's been really a stud all year. He's currently tight end 1 in half PPR leagues. And we're going to go with rookie Brock Bowers. He was projected 11.8. He finished with 25.2 points with 10 catches, 140 receiving yards, and a touchdown.
He's been crazy good. I'll go over the duds. Kirk Cousins projected 15.2, finished with 2.1. Ouch. Against the Chargers, he had 245 passing yards, but he threw 4 interceptions. Kirk O'Chains, not looking like the same Kirk O'Chains, apparently. Running back dud, Chuba Hubbard. Heartbreaking loss to the Bucs, if you're a Panthers fan anyways. He was projected 16.5. He finished with 2.3. He only had 43 yards and an overtime fumble. Cooper Dud, this one hurt me.
Cooper Dud.
Cooper Kupp was a dud. Yeah, this hurt. I need Bo Nix to score less than 17 and a half points
No, I
to
need
win.
him to score more than 23 points, and I'm solid in a league.
I think he's going to trip on the way to the stadium.
How dare
actually.
you? I
Tweak
need
his
this
ankle a
so
little.
bad. This is between me getting my head sliced off in the chopper league, in the guillotine league.
This is between me making
Now,
the playoffs.
I have made it this far, and my team, it just didn't pan out for me.
The way fantasy
CeeDee Lamb really screwed me over. I need Bo Nix to have 23 points. He gets 23 points. I'm saved, and my head doesn't roll.
Knowing how fantasy football is, which fantasy football is a fickle bitch, I've said this many times, he'll probably be between that 17 and a half and 23.
No.
And we'll both be screwed. Anyways, Cup was projected
How
14.
dare you? Just don't say horrible things like that to me. I can't handle it.
Good luck to RD because that's who I'm playing in that one. And I had Cooper Kupp. He was projected 14. He finished with 3.2. He only had 3 catches, 17 yards. And then George Kittle. Sorry, Nick. George Kittle projected 11.5, finished with 1.2. The 49ers were blown out, and Kittle had just 1 catch, 7 yards on that snow-covered field in Buffalo. At the very least, it was a fun game to watch because of the snow. Everybody likes watching those games in the snow, unless your team is losing very badly. Then I guess you don't like it that much. So Nick saying Vale. I think he meant Vele.
Or he's just saying Vale.
Or Vale. And Josiah is saying good for me. I'm not sure what's good for him. But
Something.
he was playing against my dad. So good that my dad did not listen. Before we keep going, Miranda, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about Underdog Fantasy?
Absolutely. We are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts, and you can now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. We're going to be giving out our picks pretty soon here. But in the meantime, go sign up today with promo code OFFSGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code OFFSGPN.
And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sports book available in 45 states. There are plenty of betting opportunities are available on Rebet. It's easy to use and great for people in states where traditional sports books may not be allowed. We see a lot of that where we can't bet here. Well, check out Rebet because you might be able to. Download Rebet in the App Store and use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match. All right, 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN.
I tried so hard not to cough during that for you.
I appreciate
I
that.
have like a frog at the back of my throat, and it's like I'm trying to get it to go away. But do you know when you like are out in public and you have one of those like embarrassing coughing fits where you're like crying because your eyes are so
when we went and watched a movie, and I'm like, I'm not crying because of the movie. I'm trying not to cough in a theater.
I have this like anxiety right now that's about to happen to me, and I'm just fighting it so hard.
Well,
like it's just there. There's something there.
I just immediately thought of the fact that our niece is going to be so upset when she finds out that you ate her frog. I don't know why he's in the back of your throat, but her tree frog is gone now.
Frogs, so I don't know. If anyone out there, like you bring in your indoor plants or outdoor plants, you bring your outdoor plants indoors for the winter. And my mom has this, I think it came from the tree. She has this hibiscus tree that they put outside in the summer, bring it in for the winter. And the other day, a tree frog came out of the soil because it's so warm in their house. It had been chose to hibernate in the soil of the tree. Now that tree's inside and it came out. And so now they have a tree frog and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with this tree frog because they're trying to figure out, is there a way that they can get it to hibernate again? Or they're going to have to keep it throughout the winter. They're not going to.
I think you could put a fresh pot of soil out and he would go into that, cover maybe. He'll dig to where he needs to and he'll be fine.
I don't know. They're
Remember when you made me give my tree frogs?
I don't want to talk about your college tree frogs. Yes, I made you release tree frogs into the wild in the fall because I did not want you to have an aquarium of tree frogs over the winter. It's just not what I wanted in our apartment. So I
know, but I got to bring it up every time that we're talking about tree frogs.
I'll never live it down, but those tree frogs lived a better life because you let them go.
Unless they died.
No, they did not die.
Got attacked by a crow or something. Hey, let's talk about the Sir Throws a Lot. And I love talking about Sir Throws a Lot because we get to hear from our buddy Jim.
This is Jim Miller, former Chicago Bears quarterback, and now it's time for Sir Throws a Lot.
If you haven't joined us before, we talk about Sir Throws a Lot every week. It's just the person who threw the most times. Doesn't really implicate anything fantasy football-wise, but it's kind of fun to keep track of. Last week, we did have Caleb Williams throw for 47 times. That was his second time on Sir Throws a Lot. Mur, who is this week's Sir Throws a Lot?
This week is actually, believe it or not, the first time we've had a tie for our Sir Throws a Lot. And not only was it a tie, but it was a three-way tie.
Interesting.
Between Tua, who threw for 46 times and completed 37 of those for 365 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then tied with him was Patrick Mahomes, obviously threw for 46 times. Only completed 26 of those, though, for 306 yards and a touchdown. And tied with Tua and Patrick Mahomes was Bryce Young. He threw for 46 times, completing 26 of those, just like Mahomes, for 298 yards and a touchdown. Now, out of these three,
Tua had the best day.
He did. So I feel like I want to give Sir Throws a Lot to Tua because he deserves it more than the other two because he had a much better passing completion.
Yeah, what I'm taking away is 2 is the best of those 3. More yards, more touchdowns, more completions,
Mhm.
and that Patrick Mahomes and Bryce Young are basically the same
Oh,
quarterback. No? Is that not what I was supposed to take away from that? That's what I thought the message was here.
Was that the message?
That's what I thought.
I just bring you the stats. I don't deliver messages. So
Only one of those quarterbacks won their game, and that happened to be Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
So maybe wins count more than stats, I guess. But
well, 2 for fantasy got you more points.
correct.
So there
yeah.
you go.
Yep. And Bryce Young is, I shat on him a lot. You know that. I've shat on Bryce Young a lot. Actually starting to look kind of good. He's starting to look like maybe the quarterback they wanted to draft. Let's talk about some Underdog Fantasy for tonight. Monday Night Football. We got the
Yes.
Broncos. We got the Browns. And I'm going to let you kick it off with your lineup first.
All right. The frog is coming up again. Hold on. This is going to be bad. Okay. I've got Bo Nix higher than 21.5 completions. He's been on fire, and he's gone higher than this the last 3 games when he had 22, 28, and 25 completions. I've also got Cortland Sutton higher than 5.5 receptions. He's had higher than this in each of the last 5 games, and I expect that trend to continue. Then I've also got famous Jameis Winston higher than half an interception. He's had 4 in the last 3 games. He's an interception machine.
Kind of.
And the Broncos defense is just one of the best. So then I've got Nick Chubb lower than 61.5 rushing and receiving yards. Chubb has yet to hit this mark, and he's now going against a very strong Broncos defense. And then we've talked about him already. Devon Vele, higher than 39.5 receiving yards. He's hit this in each of the last 2 games, and the Browns are 25th in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers.
I like
it. Sorry. We need a second. This is horrible. Okay. $10 will pay you $105.60 if you flex your entry. And hit all 5, you'll get $52.80. If you only hit 4 of the 5, you'll get $15.90.
All right, I'm going to go over mine as well. Devon Vele, 3.5 receptions.
It's popping up again.
Yeah, I start mine where you ended yours. Kind of fun there. Will Lutz, 1.5 field goals made higher. By the way, Devon Vele has had 4 receptions or more in the last 3 games. Will Lutz, 1.5 field goals made higher. I just think that's a system play. Nick Bonito, half a sack higher. He's hit more than 1 sack a game in 9 of the last 10 games. That's pretty impressive. And then Jordan Akins, 14.5 receiving yards higher. The old tight end has gone over this the last 3 games. Bo Nix is looking his way. So, yeah, I kind of like this. I only did 4, but that Nick Bonito one was juiced a little bit. $10 pays you $101.20. Flexed entry, if they all hit, 60 will pay, or all of them will pay you 60-70. And then if 4 hit, it'll pay you 8 or 3 hit. Sorry, I didn't even change that. 3 hit, it'll pay you $18.70. Obviously not used to only going with the 4 picks instead of 5. I guess I chickened out. I should have gone a little higher. Why not, right? George Play saying, hey, I'm 10-3 first place. Should I trade Bucky and JSN for Henry and Jefferson? My other running backs are Barkley and Gibbs. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, Waddle, Marvin Harrison Jr., D-Hop, and Amari Cooper.
I like it.
Do you like it?
Unless this is like it depends on what type of league. If it's like a keeper league, I don't know about giving up Bucky, but I think I like it.
I think
you don't?
Well, Bucky has been on fire.
He has been, but
I think him and Henry are fairly even in the fact that I know Henry. I guess I'll give the nod to Henry a little bit because nobody's really sharing the workload with Henry, and they have Rashad White and Sean Tucker that get involved for Tampa Bay.
Exactly.
JSN's been on fire too, but I do trust Jefferson more. So yeah,
I like this trade. I think it's an upgrade. I think those are upgrades. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you had said at the beginning of the season, Bucky Irving and JSN for Henry and Jefferson, I'd be like, hell yeah. I have just slight hesitancy now, but I do like it.
The other team, like because Bucky has been on fire, if he continues that trade or that trend, this trade kind of works out for him too.
Yeah, true. So yeah, I like the trade. 10-3 first place. Good luck to you in the playoffs. Hopefully you can bring home the championship. I think we move right into our waivers. This has been waivers are getting kind of harder to find people that make impacts because most of you guys have been picked up. Sometimes injuries or guys just trending upward can affect it. And so, yeah, let's start there.
Yeah, just with the injuries that are out there and then 6 teams on a bye this week, I'm sure people are going to be hurting and there isn't much available.
No.
So my quarterback is Russ Wilson. He is rostered in less than 50% of leagues at 43%. He's been playing pretty well, and he just threw for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns. He now has matchups against Cleveland, Philly, and Baltimore. These are tough defenses, but I think the Steelers are going to have to throw on them to keep winning.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to assume we talked about that hit on Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to assume he misses the rest of the year because they're not going to make the playoffs.
No, it doesn't make sense to, unless he is absolutely fine. Like it doesn't make sense to put him back in when they don't have a shot.
I agree. He kind of did his fencing posture that Tua has done in the past. He couldn't walk off the field. They had to cart him off the field. I think he's probably done, which means Mac Jones gets the start again, rostered in 1% of leagues. He came in against Houston and he actually looked pretty good. Threw for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. He now faces off against the Titans, who just let Jaden Daniels go crazy with 3 touchdowns. Mac Jones may be relevant again. Maybe.
All right. So for running back, I'm looking at the 49ers right now because this team is really impacted. They just lost CMC and Jordan Mason this week. So the next man up is Isaac. I always butcher his last name. Guarendo. He's rostered in 1.3% of leagues. He hasn't had a ton of playing time this year, though he did have 2 really good games. Week 6, he had 10 carries for 99 yards. And when Mason left the game with an injury, and then when he left the game with an injury, then in week 8, he went 14 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. This last weekend, in a limited action, he had 4 carries for 19 yards and a touchdown.
Their only touchdown,
yes.
Yeah.
He's electric, but I'm not sure that he's like an every down back.
Yeah, he's kind of a smaller speed guy.
I do expect that Deebo Samuel might come in and get a lot of carries out of the backfield, as well as Kyle use check.
Yes.
I hate saying these weird crazy names. Use check.
That's not very nice. Maybe it's a perfectly normal name to him.
I knew I was gonna have to mention his name, and I was like you're using a check. Like you gotta use a check.
Use check.
But do you think I remembered that right now?
No. Low key Bala 420 coming in saying PS2 pick. Can you clarify? I'm not sure what that meant. And then Hunter Moffat, what's up, everyone? How's it going?
Hello, Hunter.
I did not check Savage and Cook to see if you're winning, but I hope you pull out a win. My running back is for the Raiders. Zamir White, Alexander Madison continue to miss time. And if they do, Sincere McCormick came out of nowhere. I know I saw him and I was like, who the fuck is Sincere McCormick? And he led the backfield against the Chiefs. He's kind of a bruising back, which fits the Raiders style better. I mean, that's what Antonio Pierce likes. He's better at being that bruising every down back than Amir Abdullah is. He ran the ball 12 times for 64 yards. And I was actually pretty impressed what I saw from Sincere. I sincerely was.
I see what you did there.
Unamused.
Lame.
And shout out to Wesley. How's it going, Wesley? Welcome.
Hello.
All right. Shall we continue with wide receivers, tight ends left?
Yes. Parker Washington is rostered in only a whopping 1% of leagues.
And we talked about him with Colby last year when Colby was on.
Yes,
the beginning
we
of last
did.
Year.
And with Gabe Davis out, he had a huge game. really like a career best for the second-year player, where he had 6 catches on 12 targets for 103 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones looked comfortable throwing to this guy, and this is also a guy. Here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
She just said, here's a guy that made Sean Clifford look good in college.
Yeah, which takes a lot.
Yes.
Sorry to John Grimm, Penn State, not good.
And so he can work with a less than stellar quarterback and still succeed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to go with Adam Thielen, rostered in 27% of leagues. He had an okay game back, his first week back from injury, but he really stepped up this week against the Bucks. Bryce Young targeted him 10 times, which, I mean, chasing targets, that's important in fantasy football. He caught 80 of those for 99 yards and a touchdown. He dropped another, but he kind of looked like the Adam Thielen of last year that we could rely on at the beginning of the season, that was just catching everything. Yeah.
Right. For tight end, I've got Juwan Johnson, who is only rostered in 5% of leagues. And this is coming from, Taysom Hill being out and the Saints already having a lot of injuries to their pass catchers. Juwan Johnson, I think, is going to get more playing time at the at tight end and taking those snaps that Hill was taking sometimes. So this week he was targeted 7 times and he caught 5 of those for 36 yards.
You gonna make it over there?
I don't know.
Would you stop eating frogs?
This is still a very close, it's about to be a full-on coughing attack and I'll be crying. So this is very painful for me.
Well, let's try to...
Can you imagine trying to suppress something like that for 45 minutes?
Let's try to bust through that.
Or 30. It's been 30 so far.
Hunter Moffitt needs a winner tonight for the birthday. Hunter, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Hope it's a great one. And we'll give out some best bets here in a little bit. Hopefully we can hook you up. I didn't even realize this or think about it, but 2 waivers in a row, Panthers players. Eek. But Tommy Tremble.
This is how rough the waivers are now.
That's true. You could also for wide receiver, I guess another one to throw out, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I saw that he has twice as many touchdowns as Travis Kelce does this year. So that's how weird of a year it's been. Tommy Tremble rostered in less than 1% of leagues. This one makes me kind of happy because a long, long time ago, before I really did podcasting, I was a recurring guest on Rod's fantasy football pod, Rod Villagomez. Go check out the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Him and Cody do a great job. But I talked about this guy having potential future value because the Panthers spent a 3rd round pick on him. I said, why would they spend a 3rd round pick if they're not going to use him? And he really hasn't stepped up that much, so I was wrong. But this last week, he made it look like I was right. He was targeted 8 times. He got 5 of those for 77 yards. And as you know, with this tight end, I guess, void that we've had, that's actually a really good week.
I think you have to be he has to hit that more than 1 week for you to be right. 1 week is a fluke.
Well, I'm thinking that he's going to hit it going forward. That's why he's on my waivers.
All right.
Real quick.
Not to shit all over your waiver.
Yeah, don't shit on my waiver. Before we keep going, I want to tell you about MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. SGPN started out with MyBookie, and now we're back. Check out the new and improved website, great on mobile, plus props for every game and a live dealer casino. Even new early cash out options. Head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. Go put it on red for roulette or play a little blackjack. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Have you ever wanted to create your own sports betting model for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on moneyline spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or press build a model for me, and Rhythm will give you predictions for every game and player prop. And they also have a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, we are back. You and your coughing over there, you're starting to get distracting.
I'm sorry. I turned away as much as possible. I thought, okay, you're doing an ad read. This is a good time to try to clear my throat. So I drank some of your Liquid Death. I don't do carbonation.
Well, shout out to our official sponsor who
Yes.
does carbonation great.
I like their teas.
You
Their
like their
teas, they're-
cherry sparkling water, which
I
is
do.
carbonated.
But I like that's a slow sip for me.
A slow sip.
If it has carbonation, it's not going down easy.
Fair.
Not saying it's not good, but
Fair enough. Wesley needs Denver
Mm.
defense to get less than 11 points tonight so you can get a win. I hope they get less than that because Bo Nix throws a bunch of interceptions and Cleveland
So-
returns them for touchdowns.
can we just have no.
Yeah, low scoring game all around except for Bo
No.
Nix throwing
High
pick
scoring
sixes.
game, but bad on defense.
Bo Nix pulled by halftime because he threw so many pick sixes.
No.
Should we-
No, I
should-
need him to have at least 23 points. I do not. I just had a bad week. Like, you can have a really good team and just have a bad week
Yeah.
in fantasy football. And that was me this week in our guillotine league. And I am hanging in there with the last 6 teams, and I should not be going this week. I really should not be going. And I just don't want my team to be released to the people who are left.
You don't sound like
gotta
a
keep
bow
it.
lever. You sound like you're worried.
I am worried.
Should we go over our best bets before this game starts here soon?
Yes, let's do it. Can't believe you.
All right. Lead the way.
Okay. My Monday night longest reception bet is actually tough because both the Broncos and the Browns have been feeding their receivers with some big plays. But I'm going to go with Devon Vele. I'm going to mention him yet again tonight. I'm going to take him for over 16.5 yards at -125. He had a reception over this in the last 2 games and in 4 of the last 7. So they're getting him more involved, and the top coverage is probably going to go to Sutton, leaving some plays open for Vele.
Yeah, I like that. Interesting enough, I targeted Vele as well. I
Ah.
double dipped a little bit though because this is the same play I had in my
Mhm.
Underdog Fantasy entry. But if you're like us in Iowa, you can't play it on Underdog, play it on the sports books. Going over 3.5 receptions at -110. Maybe it's because I need him to have that big game, 5 points better than Cortland Sutton in the Savage and Cook League. But he's also had 4 catches in the last 3 weeks. He had a game with 6, I believe. So I feel pretty good about this. Shout out also to Pinky from Sports Nonsense and Whiskey that's been on there. He just put in the Savage and Cook chat. He is at the game tonight. So
Oh, that's exciting.
hopefully he has a good time there. Let's do first touchdown bet. Who you like?
So this was also tough for me because the Browns and the Broncos both spread the ball around well. And last week, Sutton had 2 touchdowns. So I think I'm going to keep riding the hot hand and take Cortland Sutton for first touchdown at +800.
I like it. I'm going to go with one that is kind of an emotional hedge. I need Bo Nix to have a bad game.
Okay.
But if he doesn't, I need him to score the first touchdown because I'm going Bo Nix first touchdown. I think they get towards that red zone and he kind of takes off.
I'd take him for first touchdown
Yeah.
because it would help me.
Yeah.
So.
It's 11-1, which obviously we like
Mhm.
that. You like that? Thank you, Kirk Cousins. So yeah, Bo Nix first touchdown plus 1100. Book it. And then I at least feel better because I bet it, and you know how it goes. Do you have anything else you'd like to add football wise before we head on over to whiskey?
I'm just kind of analyzing Bo Nix right now because he has only gone over 23 points.
What's his last 5?
Well, I just got to tell you this first.
Yeah.
He's only gone over 23 points, at least in this league, 3 times this year. 3 times.
Uh-oh.
I need it to be a 4th. 4 is my lucky number. So can we just make that happen?
No,
But
he'll
the
have 4
last-
points because it's your lucky number.
Last 5 games, well, 2 of the last 5 games he went over it.
Yeah, he's been
With-
balling.
29.76. Then he dropped to 18.72. Then 16.1. Then he popped back up to 28.78. And then then he went back down to 19.42.
You're not making me feel confident because the 16 is the only one that you read that would work out for me to win my match.
Well, and they have a really good matchup. So let's look at where he has gone over 23.
They have a tough matchup, right? Is that what you mean?
Oh, wait. Yeah, they have a tough shit. I somehow jumped ahead to week 15.
It is
I
not
saw
week
the bye
15.
week and I was just like, yeah, bye week. And then no.
No.
Oh my God.
Yes, he has a tough matchup.
It's a tough one. Well, his last tough matchup was like this tough was back in week 2
yeah.
against Pittsburgh, and
How many do you have then?
10 points.
That's exactly what I need to happen. That's
No.
exactly what I
He's
need to
gotten
happen.
better. He's been on fire. He's gonna go.
Yeah.
He's going off.
In case you happen to or end up hopping off because the game's going to start here pretty soon, we will be back Thursday for start sits. It's important to win these games, especially with all the bye weeks. So we got you covered on Thursday. And yeah, so don't forget to come back and join us then. But for now, we're going to talk a little whiskey. Are you ready to talk some whiskey?
Oh, I am.
All right. We are going to talk a little bit.
Look at that beautiful bottle too. I've got to just like remark on that. You know me and my whiskey bottles, and this one, just the color, like having that amber glass whiskey bottle, and I just like it. It looks like a really old whiskey bottle.
It does. It definitely does look old, like the old school kind. So, yeah, let's get into this. I will pour and start tasting and smelling and all that while you talk about it a little bit. Are you reaching?
I'm just reaching. We're good. And I
Thought you
needed
were
to
gonna
move
steal
this.
the bottle for
No,
me.
yeah. Let me drink and go over this history. So yeah, we're obviously drinking the Bib and Tucker small batch bourbon, and this is made out of Columbia, Tennessee. We found it quite interesting that the website for Bib and Tucker gives very little background on their actual company, but we had to do some, like some digging and deep diving to find out some stuff. But here is what we found out. Some of this is speculation. I will just say it right now. But this part isn't. So during, America's early days, your finest attire was referred to as a Bib and Tucker, which is how the name came to be for Bib and Tucker bourbon. And then Bib and Tucker was originally created by Three Badge Beverage Corporation, which was the spirits company owned by August Sebastiani, who is a California winemaker. In 2017, he sold the brand to the Deutsch Family Wine and Spirits, which also owns Redemption Whiskey, and we've talked about them.
Yes. I really like their high rye bourbon.
Yeah, they are a non-distiller produced whiskey, meaning they source their whiskey from an unnamed Tennessee distillery. Top guesses online, which is where the speculation comes in here, by whiskey aficionados. Let's be fancy.
This
is a Bib and Tucker after all. Some people are speculating that it's like either made by George Dickel or Jack Daniels. The mash bill is said to be 70% corn, 26% rye, and 4% malted barley. However, we can't find anywhere confirming that. So this is just what it's said to be. It's very interesting, like that you have to, there's a lot of conversation out there online about what the mash bill is or who makes it, and it's all speculation because they don't release that information.
No, and it's weird because a lot of like distilleries, you can go to their website and find everything.
Yes,
you can find out who started it, who distills for them, all this stuff,
where they get their grains, like all kinds of stuff.
And this is kind of, it's just there's not as much.
We do know that this whiskey is filtered by the Lincoln County process filtration, which is filtering through maple charcoal before they fill the barrel, where it will age in the rolling hills of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And this is for a minimum of 6 years. So the Lincoln County process is more common for Tennessee whiskey than it is for bourbons. Sorry. It's coming back again. The frog is there. So our bottle is a little older, as it just states Bib and Tucker small batch bourbon, but this is now referred to as the Classic 6 since it's been aged for 6 years. They also have the double char, which is the Classic 6 that is then aged an additional 5 months in a heavily charred barrel. They make the Tennessee 10, which is a 10-year bourbon that's non-chill filtered like a lot of other Tennessee whiskeys. And finally, they have their 12-year age bourbon. It's the same bourbon and mash bill, just aged longer. And then on our bottle, we are drinking batch number 22, and it's a 92 proof. The bottle is also pretty interesting, and one that I think a lot of people keep or sell once they've drank all the bourbon out of it.
Yeah, when we were looking up the background, I saw a lot of eBay ads popping up
Yes.
for it for an empty bottle of it.
Yeah, and this is probably a bottle I'm going to keep and probably put it next to that really old Four Roses
'cause
bottle.
It looks like
it
a
does.
really old bottle. Yeah,
I really like it. And even even the cork, it's just the cork for the stopper. So I kind of mentioned it looks like an old style whiskey bottle.
Yeah,
it has the raised glass. It says Bibb and Tucker small batch bourbon whiskey, peerless quality, and it's a fine time to drink.
Yeah,
on the bottle.
it definitely is. Here's a picture again. You can kind of see there the Bibb and Tucker, and then under that in small, probably can't see it on your screens as well. That's where it says the peerless quality, and then the small batch bourbon, and then at the bottom there is where it's got it's a fine time to drink. So yeah. All right. Well, I've smelled it. I've tasted it. I've got my profile completed pretty much. But I'll let you catch up a little bit. It's funny because when I first tasted this, I thought it had a taste profile that really jumped out at me, and I was like, oh man, I kind of like it because of that. But now that I have more of, I guess, a experienced palate, the taste is completely different. Now there are two tastes that do get mixed easily, but it's a completely different note. In my opinion, anyways. What are you getting on the nose?
Corn and oak, but then there's a little fruit in there.
Fruit?
Is it apricot?
All I get is sweetness.
I don't get sweet though.
Smelling
I have to keep sniffing it for a while.
Smelling this, I am convinced that the whiskey aficionados are correct that Jack Daniels makes it. This smells very
Really?
similar to Jack Daniels to me.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm not getting sweet, and Jack Daniels does not smell sweet.
Sure it does. When's the last time you smelled it?
when I threw it up.
It didn't smell sweet then. It smelled like pickles.
That was years ago. I haven't touched Jack Daniels since.
Yes. Miranda's referring to the night that she had 10 Tennessee hookers, which is a shot of Jack Daniels followed by a shot of pickle juice.
The first and only time I drank Jack Daniels too.
Yeah. Well, my first bottle of whiskey.
Well, I take that back. We did a Jack Daniels bottle and bond on the show.
Yeah, that's true. That's a little different.
That is different. But just regular Jack Daniels.
Yeah. I think my first bottle of whiskey was a bottle of Jack. Paul asked what I wanted to get, and I had him pick me up a bottle of JD. That was shortly before I flipped over to Wild Turkey 101.
Nothing against Jack Daniels, but I just think there's so many better options, in my opinion, for whiskey if you're going to grab a whiskey to drink neat. If you're going to drink it neat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think a neat whiskey probably wants something different than Jack. Jack has a very distinct taste profile that pretty much every whiskey drinker knows that they've had it. They're like, oh yeah, that's Jack. But some of their higher end stuff is pretty impressive. But yeah, I agree with you there. Gentleman Jack, I like Gentleman Jack a lot. That's pretty good.
We haven't done that on the show.
We have not.
I have not tried Gentleman Jack.
That's pretty good. Anyways, you think corn and oak, is that what you said? And then you have fruit.
Right away I really smell the oak, but then it's like I think it's apricot. I'm not good at picking out like some of those fruit notes.
I think it smells similar to the whiskeys that go through that Lincoln County process. You get that sugary smell from that. That's what I'm getting.
I'm not getting a sugary smell.
See, I'm getting like
it's the frog.
Sugar,
the frog
maple,
in my throat is interfering with
the
my
sugar maple charcoal smell is what I get. I'm curious what the note that really stands out to you is.
For smelling?
No. Tasting.
Oh, tasting.
Yes.
I see like smells to me are the notes.
They're all notes. On the nose.
It tastes sweet. It tastes sweet.
Do you get leather?
Not yet. Don't influence
Oh,
me.
sorry.
I've only had one try.
I'm so sorry. I thought you had 2. Should have known you need 3 anyways.
to get the full taste
Oh,
profile.
Bo Nix injured on the play.
Stop. Don't say that.
Well, I'll while you're tasting. When I first had this, I thought it was very smoky. I thought it was like a tobacco flavor that stuck out.
It's not tobacco.
But now
it is
it's
leather.
Yeah, now
It's not tobacco.
No, I know that. I'm saying when I first had it before my palate was developed, I was like, oh, that's really smoky and tastes like tobacco. But now, as soon as I tasted it, I was like, holy crap, that tobacco is leather. There's a leather taste to it.
You first, like the leather comes like kind of after. It's sweet right at first. Do you get anything sweet?
I get leather right away.
I didn't get leather until like, I don't know.
Till you don't know. I like it though. It's got a unique flavor profile. I'd get some sweet now that I'm drinking a little bit more, but still the leather is what really stands out to me.
It's a fruity sweet, like a fruit, like not like a
dried apricot.
Like an apricot.
Yeah.
I think I was smelling apricot.
I'm getting that as well.
Apricot and leather.
Yeah.
Which leather doesn't sound appealing, but in whiskey, I think it is.
Yeah. You're right. No, I know. You think I don't want to go lick a leather seat, but it is a very distinct.
Why did you say seat? Like that's a ew.
I knew that would get you. That's why.
No, you didn't.
Like licking a cow. How about that?
No.
I agree. You don't think when somebody says this tastes like leather, you think that's like insulting, but in whiskey, it stands out. It's often confused with tobacco, I feel like, but it's not tobacco. It's leather.
Leather and tobacco kind of go together.
Right.
But no, this is good and it makes it different.
Yeah. No, it's very different.
Because
that's why I think I like
bourbons don't naturally just taste like leather, like do you know what I mean? Like this I shouldn't say naturally because this is naturally tasting like leather.
Naturally.
But most bourbons don't taste like leather. So the fact that this like has those apricot, that's definitely what I'm getting, right?
Apricot. I think so. That's as soon
I'm not
as I
always
was
good
tasting
at
fruity.
pinpointing apricot. So when there's a fruit there that I don't like, that I'm questioning, I kind of go to apricot because I'm not good at picking out apricot.
Well, for me, I mean, I don't eat a ton of like dried fruit, but I do eat the dried apricots from Trader Joe's, and that's what that note kind of jumps out at to me. It's the same.
We should put an apricot in our old fashioned on Thursday.
Well,
maybe not.
Let's not get weird.
Fine, let's not get weird. That was too weird. That was a weird suggestion.
Weird. Yeah.
I'm sure there's an apricot old fashioned out there.
There probably is. Low-key Bala 420. Still waiting to figure out what PS2 pick means. I don't quite get it. I apologize. Unless it's PlayStation 2, then you need to upgrade that baby to the 5. I did. I saw that Mr. McCaskey, put on Twitter that they were going to take this head coach search very serious and everything. And so I did message and comment on there that how do I submit a resume? Because I have a killer Madden and NCAA background, just killer record.
So you're gonna leave and go coach for the Bears?
Yep. So yeah.
We should have talked about that. I was kind of thinking we would talk about that today because I feel like it happened a long time ago, but it really didn't. That was just
Well, we
Thanksgiving.
We did a short over.
I know,
but
like
things are changing in Chicago.
They are, and I still I couldn't get over the end of that game for just a long time because I've never seen that. I have not seen that kind of just waste of time. You should not lose a game like that.
No.
When you have a timeout left and just run out of time on the clock when I can't believe it. I can't get over what happened there. And then in his post interview after the game.
Yeah, the post game presser.
He said that it went exactly how it was supposed to go. And so you're telling me we were supposed to just run the clock out like that and we could have won the game. We could have easily taken it into overtime. We should have taken it into overtime. At a minimum, we should have been kicking a field goal.
Yeah, no, agreed. Shout out to whoever he goes to next, though, for coaching, because that team will get an additional timeout at least since he took it with him. Like why is he leaving it on the field? I don't understand.
And
Like,
it just so like.
you
And
can't
as soon
take it
as you
with
can
ya.
see, like, because you saw like Caleb Williams trying to hurry it up, like telling the team, like, and
Well,
even our
he should have been quicker too. He
well,
was
maybe,
not
but
quick
he
enough.
was like freaking like nobody was moving.
Right.
Like, get your ass in motion, get going. You've got like 15 seconds left.
I know. I feel like
And
they
to just
reset
watch
twice.
that go to 0 and
Yeah.
we do nothing was just an absolute like, what the hell just happened? We were so close. It was such a good game to watch.
Yeah.
The last 2 games, actually, we've been so close.
3.
I guess 3. Yeah. And just seeing us fuck it up at the end.
Yeah.
And there was like, I've just never seen this. I've never seen such a mishandled like time on the clock.
blocked field goal against Green Bay, lost in overtime against the Vikings, and then this game.
Yeah.
One thing I do like, so the interim head coach is going to be Thomas Brown, who has gone from the quarterback coach kind of to offensive play caller once Shane Waldron got fired, to now being the interim head coach in a short amount of time. He did his first presser as head coach today, and did what Matt Eberflus could not. He said, those mistakes that have lost us the past couple games, I am not admitted from fault from that. Some of that falls on me. And it's like, thank you for taking some fucking accountability. I really like him. I saw a lot of people online kind of relating him to Mike Tomlin 2.0. Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach. And if Thomas Brown can be a Mike Tomlin-ish coach, then he will be the head coach for the Bears next year as well. He will be their next head coach. I really like his approach to the game. So if you're still with us, thank you for staying with us. The Browns just missed a field goal. Broncos get the ball back after the Broncos went 3 and out because Bo Nix got hurt. And I can tell you're not really listening to me, are you?
I'm listening. I'm thinking we're going to.
Bo Nix got hurt.
No, you didn't.
I just said that.
No, I'm not really listening to you.
I
He
know.
did not get hurt.
Give it that. He did not get hurt. But
I was thinking we're going to get Cortland Sutton or
Bo Nix
for that touchdown. That's where my mind was going. So I was thinking about the Cortland Sutton first touchdown and me being right.
I said
versus you saying Bo Nix.
I said the Broncos went 3 and out, had to punt, but they get the ball back now. And I said because Bo Nix got hurt, and you said
no. At that point, I was already thinking I'm gonna be right, and Cortland Sutton's gonna get the first touchdown. So that's where my mind was.
So Bibb and Tucker, we just saw this in Storm Lake at the Storm Lake Hy-Vee, and if they have it at Storm Lake, I almost guarantee you can probably find it. That's a food desert and
food
whiskey desert
for my dad.
maybe. Yeah.
Food desert.
Food desert
It's
for
true.
your dad.
They
a
don't
whiskey
have
desert.
a lot of options to get decent
and they don't have
that's-
the Hy-Vee doesn't have a great whiskey selection, I wouldn't say. So
they have a good variety for a small town.
Yeah. But Storm Lake, it's a bigger town. It's growing. They should have better. But
It's growing.
go pick it up.
Do you know for a fact it's growing?
Yeah, I guarantee if you look at the population, it will say that it rose. Do you have any?
Growing is more than rising by like 10 people.
I says who?
Me.
That's 10 more people than they
It's
had.
not growing.
That's growth. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we get on out of here?
Bo Nix for more than 23 points tonight. Let's go.
Less than 17.
Nope.
We'll be back on Thursday.
I can't believe how much you want my head to get chopped off in this guillotine league.
I want to make the playoffs.
No,
and it's
it's
my biggest money league. I want to make the playoffs.
So if he gets 23 points, you're automatically out.
Pretty much.
You should have planned better.
I know. I should have started Najee Harris instead of Tank Dell. I thought, Najee's going to have a tough matchup. He's going against tough defense, and he had a hell of a day. And Tank Dell had a shit.
This isn't
day.
on Bo Nix. This is on your poor planning.
It's down to Bo Nix, though. That's what it's.
I know.
down
I'm
to.
sorry. I can't.
That's like saying your team, your head. It's not on Bo Nix. It's your poor planning. You can't say, I just.
It's not my poor planning that CeeDee Lamb got 5 points.
Are you kidding me? Cooper Rush is throwing on the ball. What'd you expect?
He still should have got more than that.
My Bibb and Tucker's gone. I'm going to pour a little bit more because this is pretty good stuff. Neat. I really like it. I'm curious to see how it tastes in the old fashioned. If some of that leather pops through with that, or
I
if
think
it
this
gets
is going to
lost,
be
maybe.
good. I
Yeah.
think it's going to complement it really well and make a good old fashioned.
Yeah. Usually I like your old fashioned's 100 proof. I think stands out
Mhm.
better, but let's see how this 92 proof does on Thursday. Join us to find that out. And that's all I got for today. My whiskey is gone, going once, going twice.
Sold.